Imagine a king so wise that his reputation reaches far beyond his own borders, attracting visitors from distant lands just to hear his insights. Solomon, young and gifted, steps onto the throne with the world at his feet. He prays for wisdom, and not only does he receive it, but also wealth and prosperity that most can only dream of. Join us on a journey through the highs and lows of a king whose life still echoes through the ages. Come aboard. Let's explore how the wisest man in history navigated the challenges and opportunities of his kingdom. Don't miss out on this biblical adventure that combines history, mystery, and timeless lesson. Welcome to a grand exploration of one of history's most enigmatic figures, Solomon, whose reign was a spectacular display of wisdom, wealth, and a profound human narrative of strength and frailty. This journey into Solomon's early days is not merely a recounting of ancient events, but a vibrant saga filled with lessons about the pressures of leadership and the monumental importance of making wise choices. Brace yourselves as we delve into the complexities of a young king destined to shape an era. Imagine being born into a royal household, not just steeped in power, but entwined with a narrative of intense drama and redemption. This was the world of Solomon, the son of King David and Bathsheba, whose very birth was shadowed by the controversies of his family's past. Half-brothers, Amnon and Absalom, had tales written in betrayal and bloodshed. Yet from this tumultuous background, Solomon emerged as the beacon of hope and peace, his very name meaning peace. As King David's life ebbed away, the palace buzzed with political scheming. Adonijah, one of Solomon's ambitious brothers, made a premature bid for the throne. However, the astute interventions by Bathsheba and the prophet Nathan orchestrated a dramatic turn of events, ensuring that David proclaimed Solomon as the rightful heir. This pivotal moment was not just a ceremonial passing of the crown, but a profound declaration of divine and royal intent that Solomon was the chosen one to lead Israel in one of the most heartfelt and moving scenes in the Bible. As David lay dying, he called Solomon to his side for a final father-son discourse that was laden with emotional and spiritual gravitas. David, a king who had navigated the pinnacle of power and the depths of despair, bestowed upon Solomon wisdom that was both practical and prophetic. "Be strong and show yourself a man," David commanded, emphasizing strength and maturity as crucial virtues for a king. "Observe what the Lord your God requires. Walk in obedience to him and keep his decrees and commands, his laws and regulations, as written in the law of Moses," he continued, delineating the spiritual and moral framework essential for Solomon's success and the prosperity of the kingdom. This counsel was not merely advice, it was a sacred charge, a covenant packed with promise and peril. David linked the fate of Solomon's reign to his fidelity to God's commands. This monumental challenge was set before a young ruler poised at the precipice of great power and responsibility. The early days of Solomon's rule were painted with the vibrant colors of hope and grandeur. His ascension was heralded as the dawn of a golden age for Israel. Yet, the seeds of future tribulations were subtly sown amidst the celebrations. Through the complex web of his father's political alliances, the smoldering embers of rivalry with his brothers, and the colossal expectations of his people and his deity. Let's ponder the monumental legacies we inherit and the towering expectations we face. Solomon's journey began with a crown and a prophecy under the watchful eyes of a nation and the divine. How do we see ourselves in light of our own legacies? What expectations drive us, and how do they sculpt our decisions? I warmly invite you to share your insights on the nuances of leadership, particularly the unique challenges faced when young, like Solomon. What do you believe are the most formidable challenges in stepping into roles of vast responsibility? How crucial is wise counsel during such transformative moments? Solomon's wise decision. Fresh into his reign, the youthful Solomon was acutely aware of the weight of his responsibilities. To seek divine guidance, he traveled to Gibeon to offer sacrifices, a place highly regarded for its spiritual significance. Here, in a solemn and contemplative atmosphere, under a starlit sky, Solomon encountered God in a dream. It was a sacred, surreal moment where the divine touched the mortal realm, and Solomon faced a choice that would define the ethos of his kingship. The creator of the universe, appearing in the stillness of the night with an offer of unprecedented magnitude. Ask for whatever you want me to give you. This divine proposal was not merely a test, but a genuine opportunity for Solomon to voice the desires of his heart. In this moment of unlimited possibilities, what Solomon chose to ask would reveal the true nature of his character and his suitability to rule. In an extraordinary demonstration of humility and insight, Solomon's request was for wisdom, specifically an understanding heart to govern his people and the ability to discern between right and wrong. This request highlighted his awareness of his own limitations and his deep commitment to justice and effective leadership. Solomon's plea was for the tools necessary to enhance his rule, not for his personal enrichment, but for the welfare of the entire kingdom. God's reaction to Solomon's choice was one of delight and approval. Solomon's preference for wisdom over wealth, longevity, or the life of his enemies pleased God, reflecting a king whose priorities aligned with divine principles of justice and righteousness. In response, God not only granted Solomon the wisdom he sought, but also promised him unmatched riches and honor, setting him apart from all kings, past and future. This blessing, however, came with the expectation of Solomon's continued faithfulness to God's laws. The impact of Solomon's wisdom was soon visible to all. His reign was marked by judicious decisions that showcased his deep understanding and keen intellect. Whether it was diplomatically resolving the most famous dispute between two women claiming the same child, or establishing trade alliances that brought prosperity to Israel, Solomon's wisdom was his hallmark. His insights and judgments became legendary, spreading his fame far beyond his borders. Let's ponder the enduring value of wisdom in leadership and personal growth. Solomon's choice teaches us the importance of prioritizing long-term benefits and communal welfare over immediate, self-serving gains. In today's world, where do we see the need for such wisdom? How can we cultivate a discerning heart in our own lives and in our communities? I warmly invite you to discuss the implications of Solomon's request. What does wisdom mean in the current era, and how do we pursue it in our own lives? What lessons can leaders today draw from Solomon's example? Solomon's preparation for building the temple. Before the first stone was laid, Solomon undertook extensive preparations. He consolidated his father David's plans, gathered skilled artisans from across the land, and secured vast quantities of precious materials. This preparatory phase was crucial, as it set the groundwork for a project that was as much a spiritual mission as it was an architectural one. Solomon's ability to mobilize resources for the temple's construction showcased his administrative prowess and diplomatic skills. He formed an alliance with King Hiram of Tyre, who supplied cedar and pine logs from Lebanon, woods renowned for their durability and beauty. Thousands of laborers and craftsmen were employed, illustrating the massive scale and the collaborative effort required to bring Solomon's vision to fruition. The temple itself was a marvel of ancient engineering and artistic craftsmanship, described in meticulous detail in the scriptures. Its dimensions, the quality of materials used, and the intricate decorations speak volumes about the era's architectural ambitions. The inner sanctuary, overlaid with pure gold, and the cherubim sculptures exemplified the lavish attention to detail that characterized Solomon's temple. The dedication of the temple was a momentous occasion, marked by pomp, ceremony, and profound spiritual significance. Solomon led the ceremony, offering prayer and sacrifices to God. This event was not just a celebration of the completion of a building. It was a reaffirmation of Israel's covenant with God, witnessed by a gathered multitude. Beyond its physical structure, the temple played a central role in Jewish religious life. It became the focal point for Israel's worship and religious festivals, embodying the presence of God among his people. The temple also served as a tangible reminder of God's promise to dwell among his people, provided they remained faithful to his commandments. As we reflect on the construction of the temple, consider the legacies we strive to build and the spiritual underpinnings that guide such endeavors. Solomon's temple was not just a building, it was a manifestation of faith and a beacon of hope for future generations. Solomon wasn't just a king, he was a figure of international intrigue, a patron of the arts and sciences, and a ruler whose wealth was as vast as his intellect. We will explore how Solomon's wisdom translated into tangible achievements, and how his wealth impacted his kingdom and beyond. Solomon's reputation for wisdom wasn't confined to his ability to resolve disputes. He was known for his insightful proverbs, riddles, and his deep understanding of the natural world, from botany to zoology. Dignitaries from distant lands, including the famed Queen of Sheba, traveled great distances just to test Solomon's wisdom with challenging questions and riddles. The exchange between Solomon and the Queen of Sheba exemplifies a meeting of minds and highlights the respect and curiosity his intellect garnered internationally. Alongside his wisdom, Solomon's wealth was staggering. His daily provisions included huge quantities of the finest foods and wines, and his palace was an architectural marvel, adorned with gold and the finest craftsmanship from across the known world. Solomon's wealth wasn't merely a display of opulence, it was a strategic tool that helped stabilize and expand his political influence. Trade routes flourished under his rule, bringing riches from as far as Ophir, and his fleet, jointly operated with Hiram of Tyre, ventured to distant lands, returning with gold, ivory, apes, and peacocks. Beyond the temple, Solomon's architectural achievements included building a lavish palace for himself, which took nearly twice as long to complete as the temple. He also constructed cities for storage, chariots and horsemen, fortifying his kingdom's defenses and showcasing his administrative capabilities. These projects were not just practical, they were monumental, designed to impress both his subjects and visiting dignitaries with the strength and prosperity of his kingdom. Under Solomon's reign, Israel experienced a period of cultural flourishing. Arts and sciences thrived, with Solomon himself contributing significantly to the literature of the time, penning Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, and the Song of Songs. These works reflect his philosophical insights and his contemplations on life, governance, and spirituality. His court became a center for scholars and artists from all over the region, turning Jerusalem into a beacon of cultural and intellectual development. Solomon's political strategy included forming alliances with surrounding nations, often sealed by marriages to foreign princesses. Over time, Solomon accumulated numerous wives and concubines who brought their own religions and gods into Israel. This intermingling of cultures, while politically astute, sowed the seeds of spiritual compromise that would later bloom into full-blown idolatry. As Solomon grew older, his wives' influence over him increased. They persuaded him to build high places for their gods, leading to the construction of altars for deities such as Chemosh and Molech, notorious for practices abhorrent to Israelite law. This marked a significant shift in Solomon's reign, from a king who built a temple for Yahweh to one who constructed high places for idols. Solomon's idolatry had profound repercussions. His deviation from God's commandments led to personal spiritual decline and set the stage for national turmoil. The kingdom, once united under his wisdom and prosperity, began to show cracks as God promised to tear the kingdom away from Solomon's lineage, sparing only a portion for the sake of his father David. God, who had appeared to Solomon twice, warning him about the importance of remaining faithful, was displeased with Solomon's turn to idolatry. Despite these divine encounters, Solomon's heart had turned away from God, leading to a stern divine reprimand and the prophecy of the kingdom's division after his death. Solomon's stories show us about the consequences of our choices, especially when they lead us away from our foundational beliefs and commitments. It reminds us of the perils of compromising our values for temporary gains or relationships. Solomon's death marked the end of an era, but the seeds of division were sown long before his passing. Despite his wisdom and wealth, Solomon's compromises and idolatry led to divine warnings about the future of his kingdom. The prophetic warnings he received during his lifetime hinted at a fragmentation that would occur due to his failure to maintain a steadfast faith in God. Following Solomon's death, his son Rehoboam ascended to the throne. Inexperienced and perhaps overly confident, Rehoboam faced a crucial decision early in his reign that would seal the fate of the United Kingdom. When the Israelites, led by Jeroboam, requested lighter labor burdens, Rehoboam's harsh response, advised by his younger counselors, sparked rebellion and ultimately led to the split of the kingdom into Israel in the north and Judah in the south. Jeroboam, once an official in Solomon's court and later a rebel, became the first king of the newly formed northern kingdom of Israel. His ascension was both a result of Solomon's policies and a fulfillment of divine prophecy. Jeroboam's reign, however, was not without its flaws. He established new centers of worship and made golden calves for his people to worship, actions that furthered the religious deviations that Solomon had begun. The division of the kingdom had profound spiritual and political implications. Both kingdoms experienced a series of conflicts and were weakened by internal strife and external threats. The spiritual heritage that had unified the kingdom under David and Solomon was now deeply fractured, leading to periods of apostasy and turmoil. Solomon's story is a powerful lesson in the consequences of leadership decisions. The fragmentation of his kingdom serves as a cautionary tale about the long-term effects of compromising one's values and the responsibilities of leadership. Thank you for traveling back in time with us to explore the incredible life and legacy of King Solomon. If you enjoyed this journey and want to discover more fascinating stories from history, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Share this video with friends and family who love diving deep into the past, and don't forget to like and comment. Your engagement helps us bring more of these enlightening stories to you.